And then wanna take that stream like 5 hours.
To get that opportunity to be to do work.
So yeah.
To do work, to provide
load.
To do work, to provide a living. And then we look at subsection.
Wait for it to load.
To provide a living. And then we look at subsection B. That follows why.
Okay.
That follows why the work that Mr. Bristol provided as
hit up some zombies.
As licensed, especially licensed Class A.
I find Zets. I don't have Zets of ownership on this account. We can build some.
It's a different type of license, profession.
Extra credit 7.
It's a different type of license, profession.
Let's just grab one of these. There we go. Get my free distill. There we go. Oh, yo, what's up? Who's watching the stream right now? What's up?
His specialty and provision and focus is the logistics.
Got a class with that gun.
And focus is the logistics. And hence, this is logistics. And hence, this is outside the usual course of business. For Boca.
I just hit up some guys.
For Boca. Boca doesn't drive up.
I don't know if this is bad, but I'm asking.
How's he gonna go? He's gonna be here.
I know. It was on Dr. Phil.
What?
Tube side. Yeah, when you're having a baby. Tube.
Yo, guys.
There's gotta be more to it than that. Here's 40 to pay out of your own money.
Quan.
Her faces are so annoying too, by the way.
Tube tie.
Oh, what's that?
Tube tie.
It sounds like they say tube side or tube
You
side.
got 2 ovaries. Well, not you.
Yeah.
Women. No. 2 ovaries somewhere. And then there's 2 from these ones are called ovaries. They go from the ovaries to the uterus. And
So we got
down to into the uterus.
To have a baby.
that.
Can get pregnant. Okay, so if you have them tied, that means you don't want to have no more kids. So they do some procedure where the egg can't get down there.
Kid 50
You can't baby.
Well,
It's easy.
So why is like that fat?
I'm gonna check out multiplayer.
She said she had a miscarriage.
See what's
She
happening.
was pregnant. So she was pregnant, but she just said she had a I don't know, I didn't hear the whole thing, but
Okay, so
I'm like, what?
Because it sounds like they said tube side.
Yeah, tube's tired.
oh, yo, so who's watching the stream? Who's that? Who is it? Who?
Dad's car is here.
Who? I need to
My
know.
car is not.
I need to know. I might roll some ELO. Some of that. But I forgot. I closed that all out, bro. I don't know, bro. Should we toy people with the Baymaker? I don't know. I feel like the break would be good. Just get a laser sight off.
And that driver who wants that
Get some of that.
that driver who wants that customer as well. It may not be big enough to that customer as well. It may not be big enough to get customers as well. It may not be big enough to get customers as well. It may not driver who wants that customer as well. It may not be big enough to get it on as well. It may not be big enough to get it on its own together, so that to get it on its own together, so that the deal can happen. So that the deal can happen. And as such, my client testified. And as such, my client testified. The driver can refuse to work. The driver can refuse to work.
They can come till 45 because it starts at 7.
Oh, just be ready.
The driver can refuse to work. They can have the truck
No.
to work. They can have the truck loaded and change. They can have the truck loaded and change their mind
this
for
one.
whatever reason.
Oh, it said on my way at 6:32, so a minute ago.
Check the body.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Wish me some luck.
Good luck.
Really, this kid's made out of Rubik's
They can
cubes.
have the truck loaded and change their mind for whatever reason, and then we have to let that mind for whatever reason, and then we have to let that, you know, they have the customer to let that, you know, they have the customer as well as photos. They have the customer as well as photos. There's nothing they can do to, as well as photos. There's nothing they can do to force the driver to work. There's nothing they can do to force the driver to work. And then that last subsection, the driver to work. And then that last subsection C, and then that last, force the driver to work. And then that last subsection C, again, you know, as stated on the, as stated on the record, again, you know.
Yo, who's watching the stream?
You know, before counsel's in the record, you know, before counsel's involvement, you know, before counsel's involvement, you know, before counsel's involvement, you know, just reading the questionnaire, and just reading counsel's involvement, you know, just reading the questionnaire in layman's terms. In layman's terms.
Oh, got that quick draw. Get that. Probably gonna roll some. Let's just play some drives in.
After what they believe, after what they believe was an independently established.
So yeah, let's just get into this, my dudes.
What they believe was an independently established trade and occupation profession.
So yeah.
Profession under subsection C of the occupation profession under subsection C of the section 212, section C of the
The 7:15's about gonna leave. I don't know, bro.
As we stated, after
Dang.
understanding what
Dang, bro. Snap.
after understanding what that means more legally, Fogo wishes to amend that legally. Fogo wishes to amend that answer and believes yes. In that answer and believes yes. Why?
It's probably leaving the game right now.
Why Mr. Briscoe is actually
Hold up, guys. I'll be right back.
Briscoe is actually involved in an independent trade. And then finally, the record shows under section 601.
Alright, I'm back. So, let's get this in. No, he didn't leave. Okay. See? Is he playing? Yeah, he is. Percolic?
601 is not applicable here. The 601 is not applicable here. Only a monetary applicable here. Only a monetary determination. Only a monetary applicable here. Only a monetary applicable here. Only a monetary determination. So we're gonna predetermination. So we're gonna predetermination. So we're gonna focus only on his monetary. Focus only on his monetary. Only on his
Trying to get this on live.
Eligibility for benefits. Eligibility for benefits. 601 is not benefits. 601 is not the issue. 601 is free for benefits. 601 is not the issue. 601 is not the issue. 601 is not the issue.
Is that not a part of the? Is that not a part of the fundamental not a part of the fundamental criteria though that a claimant has to meet in order to show that he's eligible for benefits.
You know, they actually the salient issue is initially just the salient issue is initially to show your monetarily eligible for benefits, and then there are other subsections that would make you disqualified. Sections that would make you disqualified despite your eligibility. 601 is a disqualifying provision such that he may be monetarily eligible. Based on the earning of being paid certain wages, but he's disqualified because he because he voluntarily separated. Because he voluntarily separated based on based on a reason that is not attributable to the employer, and the employer then brings that up through a protest. In the local office. This is a monetary eligibility protest. Based on sections 212 and 500. Based on sections 212 and 500E. Sections 212 and 500E. 212 and 500E.
So is that
500E. 212 and 500E.
so is that subsequent to the appeal? So is that subsequent to the appeal hearing then, Your Honor?
It's something that can be raised at.
That is mine today. No, we were bounced out.
It's not the employer, but in their protest. It's not the employer, but in their protest raised the independent contract. The employer, but in their protest raised the independent contractor issue. Their protest was filed timely on the 16th, and it raises independent contractor. There's no issue of contractor. There was no separate issue. There was no separate issue that was established regarding the voluntary leaving.
Oh, in the paperwork submitted to the appeal group, I believe it was stated that claimant's application has on there that he quit. Is that not sufficient? That he quit. Is that not sufficient Is that not sufficient to, is that not sufficient?
No, he's not anywhere close by.
Is that not sufficient to raise the notice, or is
Excuse me.
raise the notice, or is
Excuse me, Your Honor.
What? Come on, I just want to get done with this file.
Wait, how long do you have?
A long time, and you keep interrupting me. What?
Oh, are you going to say no?
Right, I'm probably going to say no. What do you want? You're kidding, right? No. Oh my gosh. Oh!
Dad.
or
Excuse me, Your Honor. Before we start, excuse me, Your Honor. Before we started this, sir. Before we started this,
This guy jumped.
before we started this trial, it was established that at this trial, it was established that neither one of us had counsel. It was established that neither one of us had counselors. And then when you allowed his counselors to come, counselors. And then when you allowed his counselors to come aboard, and then when you allowed his counselors to come aboard, you said that his counselors to come aboard. And then when you allowed his counselors to come aboard, you said that his counsel would only ask questions. You said that his counsel would only ask questions to the client. His counsel would only ask questions to the client. And now she's doing the client. And now she's doing some attorney work with him. And now she's doing some attorney work with him now. And that makes it unfair because, and that makes it unfair because I could have had time to get an attorney. That makes it unfair because I could have had time to get an attorney. That makes it unfair because I could have had time to get an attorney.
Yeah, I know. This is her.
Could have had time to get an attorney.
Yeah, I know. This is her closing. This is her. Yeah, I know. This is her closing. This is her closing argument. It's not evidence. It's just her argument. It's not evidence. It's just her argument. You'll be given the argument. You'll be given the afforded the same. You'll be given the afforded the same opportunity. Given the afforded the same opportunity.
Yes, Your Honor, but...
Opportunity. Afforded the same opportunity.
Yes, Your Honor, but... I'm sorry, Your Honor, but... I'm sorry, but I don't just remember you... I'm sorry, but I don't just remember you saying...
The evidence, what is being...
I just remember you saying... Sorry, but I don't just remember you saying... I'm sorry, but I don't just remember you saying... But I don't just remember you saying... I'm sorry, but I don't just remember you saying...
The evidence, what is being...
Okay.
Now is disclosed. Evidence, what is being...
Okay. So you saying...
The evidence, what is being...
Okay.
Now is disclosing argument. Being...
Okay.
Now is disclosing. Evidence, what is being...
Okay.
Now is just... Evidence, what is being...
Okay.
Now is disclosing argument. It's meant to...
Oh, forgive me, I'm sorry.
Argument. It's meant to...
Oh, forgive me, I'm sorry.
And, yeah, don't, you will get a, yeah, don't, you will get a cop.
Forgive me,
Will get a cop.
Forgive me, I apologize.
No. Cop.
Forgive me, I apologize.
No, I understand.
I apologize.
No, I understand. It's an administrative proceeding and it's not... And it's an administrative proceeding and it's not something that's... Administrative proceeding and it's not something that's intuitive to just anyone. Intuitive to just anyone. Intuitive just anyone. And it's got its own really odd rules of procedure. But I see a misconduct in the issue number 6 that was raised. I don't see misconduct issues raised by the and I don't see any 601 claim that's been brought forward or has either been made an issue by the agency. If the employer wishes to do so, they could protest that. They can bring that up at the local. They can bring that up at the local office. But that's not before me. That's not before me right now.
Okay, understood. Okay, understood, Your Honor. I just want to say, Your Honor, I just want to then go on record that. Okay, understood, Your Honor. I just want to then go on record that we're raising the 601. Issue, and I'll follow up with the. Raising the 601 issue, and I'll follow up with the local office as you stated. Thank you. All right,
so noted. So noted. Now, for the record, Mr. Eastcock's talking about in the services. Talking about in the services outside the usual course of business. Is not logistics course of business providing transportation services?
It's the logistics. It's the logistics of the transportation. Correct.
They provide transportation services.
Correct.
They provide transportation services, and could they survive without drivers? Could the business? Could the business actually make money without drivers? The business couldn't make money without drivers.
The business couldn't make money with. Without drivers. The business couldn't make money without drivers, and it couldn't make money without drivers, and it couldn't make money without customers either.
Okay. Okay. So, and then the like of the usual course. Okay. So, and then the like of the usual course of business. And then the like of the usual course of business would be providing transportation, and drivers are necessary. Providing transportation, and drivers are necessary to provide transportation, are they? Drivers are necessary to provide transportation, are they not? And then the cost of business is being operated. And then the cost of business is being as well as the business is being operated on the highway, streets and highways, public streets, operated on the highway, streets and highways, public streets and highways, public streets and highways of the various states in which he has to attend. So he would be operating in the in all the places of business for which these transportation services are provided, since they're provided on the streets transportation services are provided since they're provided on the streets and highways, public streets and highways, public streets and highways of the various states that are required. I don't know how vivid required. I don't know how vivid section B. I don't know how vivid required. I don't know how vivid section B is ever going to be met.
Hunter! Hunter! Sit down! Hunter! Shut up!
Different section B is ever going to be met.
The drivers as well as the trucks, as well as, the customers. I mean, it's all the customers. I mean, it's all required
Hunter!
in order to perform the business. I think in order to perform the business, I think subsection B, what it's really going to is that the way the trucking industry, the way the transportation industry is set up today. There is a clear disconnect. Between truck drivers.
Shut up!
Between truck drivers, truck drivers, owner operators as well. But there's owner operators, truck drivers, owner operators as well. But they're still a little bigger than, they're still a little bigger than, the individual. They're still a little operators as well. But they're owner operators as well. But they're still a little bigger than, the individual independent driver who has his license, who goes and invests time, his money, he has to study to get his specialized license. They want a specialized license. they want to do the license. They want to do the work, but they want to do the work, but they don't have perhaps enough. They don't have perhaps enough to be a fully owner operated. What requires a driver, what requires a driver, what requires a driver or a company. So, this is the for a company. So, this is or a company. So, this is the middle point, this is the middle point, to make, the point, to make, to allow those drivers the same opportunity, because the loads are there. So clearly the customers want these loads. So clearly the customers want these loads fulfilled, and it's filled, and it from a pure economic standpoint. From a pure economic standpoint, it gives the smaller independent driver an opportunity to really outbid the owner operator, and
Mr. Chekhov testified. Mr. Chekhov testified that based on certain private information from the company, these drivers can't create contracts. They don't have all the can't create contracts. They don't have all the information. They don't even have the authority to make these contracts. Nor do they sign any of these contracts. Nor do they sign any of the contracts. So, and nor do they of the contracts. So, and nor do they even accept that. So, and nor do they even contract. So, and nor do they even accept money on behalf of the customers. Nor do they even accept money on behalf of the customers. So, every single thing has to go. So, every single thing has to go through Focal Logistics, and that go through Focal Logistics, and that and Mr. Briscoe is being paid by Focal. Mr. Briscoe is being paid by Focal Logistics. Briscoe is being paid by Focal. Mr. 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 Briscoe is being paid by Focal Logistics by a percentage. Focal Logistics by a percentage. So Focal Logistics only percentage. Paid by Focal Logistics by Mr. Briscoe is being paid by Focal Logistics by a percentage. So Focal Logistics only makes money when drivers drive. Logistics only makes money when drivers drive. All right, move back from this. Yes, drive. All right, move back from this. Yes. All right, move back from this. Yes, as you said, that's a yes, that. All right, move back from this. Yes, as you said, that's a logistical. Yes, as you said, that's a logistical point. I mean, you said that's a logistical. Yes, as you said, that's a logistical point. Yes, as you said, that's a logistical point. I mean, could the money flow from the customer? Could the money flow from the customer to the driver? Absolutely. The customer to the driver? Absolutely. And then a portion of that goes to absolutely. And then a portion of that goes to just, focus. A portion of that goes to just, and then a portion of that goes to just, focus. How do you think the focus?
you know, focus.
Choosing to focus.
You know, focus.
Choosing.
That goes to legit, you know, focus.
Choosing to focus.
You know, focus.
Choosing to focus. And you think the focus would wait for focus? And you think the focus would wait for the driver to come? And you think the focus would wait for the driver to come? Please say that. Wait for the driver to come. Please say the focus would wait for the driver to come. Please say that.
You don't want that.
Please say that.
You don't want that. They want that. They want don't want that. They want logistics companies to handle it all. Logistics companies to handle it all, so that they don't have to do that. So that they don't have to do that.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. There. I get it. Right. Okay. There. I get it. I understand your position. There. I get it. I understand your position. All right, Mr. Bristow. I understand your position. All right, Mr. Bristow. Do you have anything that you? Mr. Bristow, do you have anything that you would like to say in closing?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I respect Counselor. Yes, Your Honor. I respect Counselor and her efforts. To represent her client. But what we really have here, Your Honor. But what we really have here, Your Honor, is a mere case of perjury. Your Honor, is a mere case of perjury. Your Honor, is a mere case of perjury. Your Honor, is a mere case of perjury and taxi.
Oh, okay, all right.
Perjury and taxi.
Oh, okay, all right. We don't need any. Oh, okay, all right. We don't need any kind of name calling. Let's just move on. Name calling. Let's just move on.
Okay, well, tax evasion, that's not a name calling this. Okay, well, tax evasion, that's not a name calling this. Okay, well, tax evasion, that's not. Okay, well, tax evasion, that's not a name calling this. Avoiding paying taxes.
Okay.
The client and her efforts to represent her client, but what we really have here, Your Honor, is a mere case of perjury and tax evasion.
Oh, okay.
Case of perjury and tax evasion.
Oh, okay, all right. We don't need any kind of name calling. Let's just move on.
Okay, well, tax evasion, that's not a name. Okay, well, tax evasion, that's not a name calling. That's avoiding paying taxes.
Okay.
But that's avoiding paying taxes.
Okay.
But yeah, Your Honor, but yeah, Your Honor, I was an employee for this guy. Yeah, Your Honor, I was an employee for this guy, and that's an employee for this guy, and that's pretty much like he said the burden, and that's pretty much like he said the burden of proof. Pretty much like he said the burden of proof to provide that was upon proof to provide that was upon the was upon Mr. Phillip and was upon Mr. Phillip and the only thing he established upon Mr. Phillip on the was upon Mr. Phillip and was upon Mr. Phillip and the only thing he established is that I work Phillip and the only thing he established is that I work for him. The only thing he established is that Mr. Phillip on the that was upon the was upon Mr. Phillip and the only thing was upon the was upon Mr. Phillip and the only thing he established is that Mr. Phillip and the only thing he established upon Mr. Phillip and the only thing he established is that I work for Phillip and the only thing he established is that I work for him. And I did establish is that I work for him. And I did work for him. I never denied that. And I did work for him. I never denied that. And I made 48 cents a mile for that. And I did work for him. I never denied that. And I made 48 cents a mile. I made 48 cents a mile. I made no business decisions. I made no business decisions in my everyday work. I was just in my everyday work. I was just employees who received the paycheck. I was just employees who received the paycheck. And that's what I want to close the check. And that's what I want to close it at.
Okay.
That's what I want to close it at.
Okay.
And that's what I want to close it at.
Okay. All right. I appreciate all.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I appreciate all of you participating and taking. I appreciate all of you participating and taking all your time today. All of you participating and taking all your time today. I really do. It really time today. I really do. It really does help to have as many facts. So
Hey,
really
boys.
to have as many facts as possible. And
Yeah.
Bull doo-doo.
What?
I said this is bull doo-doo.
Oh, I thought you said this game doodle.
to have as many facts as possible, and I will get this as possible, and I will get this decision out as soon as I will get this decision out as soon as possible. All of you have a decision out as soon as possible. All of you have a good rest of your week. So all of you have a good rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Again? I don't know why you don't keep the same bowl you used before.
One.
Okay, so just a little roll call. Do I? Okay, so just a little roll call. Do I have Philip Trashkov?
Yes.
And then I have Sydney Briscoe.
Correct.
Oh, the phone is working. Hallelujah. Okay. My name is Angela Humes. I'm the administrative law judge that's been assigned.
Logistics company with
The claimant wasn't considered it, Mr. Briscoe. Mr. Briscoe.
I meet Mr. Briscoe. He was he called the government of
Apparently, at this and that he is apparently one appears to Mr. Trykov is on the witness stand, so you don't talk. The employer can ask him questions if he so desires, and then you both can have an opportunity to add anything at the end you want to add, or a closing statement, and then I close the record and review the law and issue my opinion. So that's where it's going to go. Does anybody have an initial questions about procedure before we just get into the testimony?
No, me? No.
No? Okay.
No, me? No.
No? Okay. All right, then. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Trykov. So you sent in some exhibits to be considered at the hearing. Did you send those exhibits to Mr. Briscoe?
Yes, we do.
Oh.
Yes, we do. We mail it to him. Yes, we do. We mail it to him.
What address did you mail it to him at? What address did you mail it to him at?
Individual 5876 Walksville Road, I did not receive it, no.
Okay. All right, well.
Okay.
It's a legal procedure, so you're in court. And right now, Mr. Trykov is on the witness stand, so you don't talk while he's talking. Mr. Briscoe, you'll have a chance to ask him questions, and you'll have a chance to testify as well, but because it's being recorded and just in order to clarify one person at a time, I'm asking Mr. Tricott questions now, and then you will definitely have your turn. So write down any questions you have, so that when it's your turn to ask them, you'll remember. Okay, so these the exhibits that you sent in, Mr. Tricott, I just want to go over them for purposes of the hearing. The first one appears to be a document about the claimant's application, employment application, and employment history. Is that correct?
Right. Correct.
Employment history. Is that correct?
Right. Correct.
Okay. And that appears to indicate that he's applying for the position of the driver, and that he apparently at this point it looks like he had worked for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different trucking companies. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, how did you find out about? How did you meet Mr. Briscoe?
How I meet Mr. Briscoe? He was chief quality government number for some of our drivers. And he called us. He asked me for to have a truck.
So I'm sorry. So he got your number from. So he heard about you from one of his friends. He got your number and he called and asked for a job.
Correct.
Okay. And do you recall the first day? What the first day he was on the job?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat one more time?
What was the job that he was applying for? It doesn't really say on here. It just says driver.
Yes, driver. He's driving the truck.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't have anywhere here. What is your business? What was he driving the? I have anywhere here. What is your business? What was he driving the? What was the purpose of driving the truck?
We're a logistics company. We connect the driver to the customer, and they providing the business between, and he's moving the freight from point A to point B. Depends what's in the contract. Everything goes.
Okay, so it's you.
Single contract. So.
Okay, so it's you.
Single contract.
Okay, so it's you.
Single. But everything goes.
Okay, so it's you.
Single contract.
So you're saying freight. So he's moving. He's moving goods from place to place.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if he was transporting people or
No,
animals or I don't know what he's transporting. Okay.
General freight. Most of the time, they told me, water, paper,
Okay. All right. I got you. Like manufactured. Okay. All right. I got you. Like manufactured goods. Okay. All right. So his job would have been a driver. You're connecting drivers with customers, and they basically need freight transferred from point A to point B.
Correct.
Okay. Do you recall? So you hired him. I'm saying, what was his first day on the job? What was day one? Or if you could give me a month and a year, that would be great.
Now let me open the application.
There's the end.
How about January of 2017 to April of 2017?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So January, and my records say January 3rd, 2017 to April 12th, 2017.
Yeah, around that time.
Okay. So what we're talking about, that is just
I know already ate the dinner earlier today. Remember when we got to dinner?
okay. So what we're talking about, that is just the first quarter of 2017 plus additional 12 days. All right, so so did the claimant? Oh, okay. So then, what was the claimant's rate of pay?
Rate of pay is 45 cents a mile, and depends, if it's some extra work. So if it's some extra work, you know, from the customer, if the customer requires, because, you know, sometimes some loads depends on the customer, what they do, how they loading or unloading, and there's extra money or less money, depends, you know, how the driver performs.
Okay. So the general rate is 45, did you say 45 cents a mile?
Correct.
Okay. And that is amount, amount is paid, the customer pays that amount to you?
Yeah, how the customer pays, you know, they pay us a flat rate, and from that rate, there's like 25% to the driver, and the rest go for fuel, for dispatch, and for other logistics stuff what we connected to them. Other logistics stuff what we connected to them.
Okay. That explains that. All right. So then his last is that day. Okay. So you tell me about did you have a contract for services or a lease agreement?
With the customers when we provide the logistics to?
No. With Mr. Briscoe.
Contract. Yes, we have the contract on his side, you know. Yes, contract. Yes, we have the contract on his side, you know, to work with us. That's the contract, you know, how much he pays, how he pays, what's the fine, what's the bonus. How he pays, what's the fine, what pays, how he, you know, us. That's the contract, you know, us. That's the contract, you know, how much he pays, how he pays, what's the fine, what's the bonus.
Okay.
Fine, what's the pays, how he pays, what's the fine, what's the bonus.
Okay.
What's the bonus.
Okay.
Fine, what's the bonus.
Okay. Did you submit that Okay. Did you submit that contract to the agency?
I don't know.
No. Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you.
No.
No. Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you.
No.
No. Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you that you did. And I also have a copy of your independent contractor. Questionnaire that was sent to you by this agency, and that you returned, and you indicate that you don't have a contract with the company. It says here.
The contract what we have is between the customer, us, and the driver. The load is different contract. It's not.
So okay, so you don't have a. That's what I'm saying. So you. My question was. I'm saying. So you. Do you have a contract with Mr. Briscoe that sets out his rate of pay, employment agreement, anything like that?
That's an application. That should be there on the application. That's it.
His employment application, his employment history, some text messages, and a bill. There's no contract.
There is a way of saying, you know, how much you're expecting to be paid. 48 cents per mile. Probably that much you paid per mile. Probably that much you paid. I didn't remember it was because it was a while ago.
I think that the document that you signed and sent in was sent in on December 15th of 2017. The question was, do you have a contract with the claimant? And you checked the box, no. So, and
but that's probably because every single customer, when we're booking the load, the guy from the booking department do, they have a different contract. So, the work what we provide is allowed to test every single contract is allowed to test every single what we provide is allowed to test every single contract to Sydney Briscoe as a proof what we do.
No, okay, but Sydney, No, okay, but Sydney, okay. I just meant not. Did you send in
No, I need like
any of those contracts?
100 more.
We have all of them. We
Please.
have in a mail, all of them, if you want, we can provide it to we can provide it to
it was listed on here asking you that any contract that you had with the claimant, you should have attached it to that questionnaire. But since you marked the box that you had no contract, nobody expected you to have one. So you're saying these contracts, though, that you're talking about, they're between the customer and Mr. Briscoe? Are they between you and the customer regarding Mr. Briscoe?
So that we provide the logistics, we connect the customer and the driver to move the freight from point A to point B. For example, sometimes, most of the time, the customer didn't provide the pickup information from the load. They want the driver to call them. The load, the pickup information didn't provide. The customer didn't provide the pickup information from the load. They want the driver to call them. So we are the main connection. The first one, we see the load, we make the connection, we see how much is paid, then we provide, Sydney Briscoe number. Sydney Briscoe is calling the customer, gets the information for pickup or delivery. Either way, that depends, what's next.
Hello.
Okay, but it's not Sydney Briscoe that decides the amount of money that he's going to get paid, right? I mean, you decide that.
No, not me. The customer. Not me. Not me. The customer who's moving the freight.
So then how can it always be 48 cents? Does every customer pay 48 cents a mile?
So once we explain how the business is. Based, it's allowed. It's allowed two bucks base. It's allowed It's allowed 2 bucks a mile, and the math is coming up, 25 to, and the math is coming up, a mile, and the math is coming up, 25 to 30% from the load is going to the driver. So that's a, early, like a year, early, like a year-round math, what we do, and that's put the driver on safe side, not on safe side, not always to argue with dispatch how much is going to get paid, just to get one step shorter to make the logistics work, easier. So that's like a pressure is what they get, but but for example, if it's delivery on time, let's say delivery is 7 a.m. and driver needs to make it, it's like $100 bonus food for supplement. If it's like later delivery, then they have a penalty. What they agree to do with the penalty because they're pretty sure they're not gonna be late. They're not gonna get not gonna be because they're pretty sure they're not gonna be late. They're not gonna get a penalty. Another be late. They're not gonna be late. They're pretty sure they're not penalty because they're pretty sure they're not gonna be late. They're not pretty sure they're not gonna be late. They're not gonna get a penalty. They're gonna be late. They're not gonna get a penalty.
In this video, we're grinding to get the HVK Max. If you didn't notice, because all I'm trying to do is kill zombies with mostly the HVK. Because, yeah.
Okay, because on the same independent contractor questionnaire, you answered that the claimant got $1 a mile. And then now you're saying it's 48 cents a mile. So I'm still not really clear who determines the rate of pay. And so I understand that the customer, Mr. Strikeout, the customer contacts you you make an initial assessment, and then you sign a contract with the customer, and the customer pays you, and then you pay the driver a percentage. Does that make sense?
Give me a second.
Okay.
First, Judge, the questionnaire is like a simple money mile. Simple money mile. It's not like $1 per mile. That's probably misreading there. For that's what you asked me. But for that's what you asked. But for the further, the second question regarding how we pay, how everything goes. Yes, the customer, provide the rate. Then, the driver agreed to do the freight. After the driver agreed to do moving the freight from point A to point B, we booking, the freight. So driver close the deal. So if driver agrees to book the freight, yes, we go ahead and book that freight for, for some money.
Okay, but you let their customers decide how much they're going to pay?
That's between the customer and the dispatch.
Well, who's the dispatch?
Dispatch are people hiring our company. Dispatch are people hiring our company doing the dispatching part. Doing the dispatching part. Who's finding those loads who are on the market?
Well, who does that? Who does the dispatch? Who does the dispatch?
We have 13 people who work in. We have 13 people who work in our company.
You have other people that work in your company to do that. That's not something Mr. Briscoe does. He doesn't go out looking for customers.
No.
Okay.
Some of the drivers, they do that. They have like load boards on their cell phones, and they said to the dispatch, hey, I'm seeing the load here, you can call, but they don't have authority to call and book that load without the dispatch because, it's the company information that we don't share, it's the company information that we don't share, the duty numbers and stuff like that with the driver. They don't have an ability to book the load. Plus, there is the paperwork what needs to be done in the office, to make the contract between the company, our logistics, the office, to make the contract between the company, our logistics company, and the customer on other side.
Okay.
If the driver said, I'm not going to do that load because of this and that, some conditions, or whatever, he thinks you're not going to make the money, then, he's turning down the loan and we're not going to do it. So he's closing the deal, we're going to go further or no.
But if he didn't want to do it, you could just provide it to some other driver that you have.
If we have some other in the area, yeah. But if you don't know the area, but if you know that driver is going to choose the job, he's choosing he's going to work or not.
Right, and he's choosing the jobs that you offer to him. Because he doesn't go out and get customers and stuff. Okay, so all right, so he doesn't have the ability to actually make the contract because he doesn't have the details. Like, and you mentioned DOT numbers. Part of the thing is there are you registered with the Interstate Commerce Commission or the Illinois Commerce Commission?
Yes, we have an MC number and duty number, We have an MC number and duty number, That's how if you get the
ICC and the DOT, right. And so you get your own, and he operates under yours. Your drivers are not required to have their own, like a DOT number and their own ICC number. They perform services under yours, right?
They give 50 services. They give 50 services. They give 50 services under our duty. They give 50 services under our duty number. Yes.
Okay.
Because our duty number. Yes. his service is under our DOT number, yes.
Okay.
Because they need a scanner printer, because they need a scanner printer to sign the, they need a scanner printer to, because they need a scanner printer to, because they need a scanner printer to sign the document, make a contract, it's a lot of paper, document, make a contract, it's a lot of paperwork, document, make a contract, it's a lot of paperwork. You know, between nobody had that in the truck. You know, between nobody had that in the truck to do it. So nobody had that in the. You know, between nobody had that in the truck to. You know, between nobody had that in the truck to do it. So that we as a company, you know, take care. Let's say and for that part of the job. Let's say and for that part of the. Take care. Let's say and for that part of the job.
Okay. Right, he was looking under your license. I see that, so you sent in his employment history. Did you do any other kind of check? Did you confirm his license history? Or do any kind of like driver's license? Or do any kind of like driver's license background check or any kind of other?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of check did you do?
Before we you know get someone in the company, we go doing the PSP we go doing the PSP record. That's doing the PSP. We go doing the PSP record. That's the record with how he's performing on the scale on the.
I feel like doing like a craft or a YouTube video, just I don't know what I can do. A craft.
Performing on the scale, on the weigh station, with the police on the road, and stuff like that, and motor vehicle driving records. So those are motor vehicle driving records. So those are two things what we got.
What was the first record you mentioned?
TSP.
Mentioned?
TSP.
And then the second was the motor vehicle and was the driving record, like driving access with the Secretary of State.
Yeah, that's a DOT requirement thing, you know, what we want to do. We don't do background check.
Yeah, no. The DOT driving record and then the Illinois Special record and then the Illinois Special Secretary of State. Yeah.
He's getting his driving record from the state where.
Yeah.
He's getting his driving record from the state where his driver's license is issued.
Right.
That's
Okay.
A plus Texas, I believe so.
Right.
That's
Okay.
A plus Texas, I believe so.
And is he required to have a CDL?
Yes, he's required to get a CDL. CDL drivers have going through special training, exams, and road tests and driving tests.
Right.
It's class A.
Right.
Class A.
Right. Okay. And he pays for that, or do you pay for that too?
He pays for it. He chooses to do that. Keep on business. Pay for it. He chooses to do that. Keep on business.
Okay.
Keep on business.
Okay. Well, but on your independent contractor questionnaire, again, you're being asked if the claimant had his own business, and you say no, and you did submit this employment history that shows that he's worked for 8 other employers. It does not show any Sidney Briscoe business, or does not list any Sidney Briscoe business. On what do you base the fact that he would have his own business? Why would you think that?
That was mistake for that was with us, and that was mistake for that was with us. That was mistake for that was with us, and she's mistake for that was with us, and she's my for that was with us, and she's my attorney. She can explain you that if you want.
Well, he should have made it.
If you want.
Well, he should have made his appearance a long time ago, if that's what was going to happen.
No, I apologize, Judge. I apologize, Judge. I didn't want to interrupt you moving so quickly. But if you don't want to allow me to speak, that's fine.
If he wanted to put under oath and become a witness to it, that's fine. He was supposed to provide witness information within 24 hours of the hearing in order to allow them to participate, but...
I'm not able to object. I'm not able to object.
I can't. Somebody's phone is messing up here, and I can't hear at all.
I actually was not able to object because before the trial we determined that there weren't going to be any attorneys because I was looking at giving the attorney myself.
Yeah, okay, so but I hear the claimant is objecting to the attorney being brought into the hearing now. He doesn't have an attorney. So
he requested you should have brought in. He requested you should have brought in an attorney, and he said that when Mr. Philip called yesterday when Mr. Carter called yesterday. He called yesterday when Mr. Carter called. And Philip called yesterday when Mr. Carter called yesterday. He called yesterday when Mr. Carter called yesterday. He called disclosed. Yesterday, he fully disclosed and gave all of my information to the department, to the appeals group, when he called to give his number because it was specifically asked him. And I was already.
What? Stop leaving my thing! Oh my god. You gotta go brush that hair. Yeah, that's looking nice. Yeah, what are you gonna do then? After you cut it out? It's all... Yeah, you think so. What is that on your shirt? It's your hair.
And I was already notified. So I don't know if there was a disconnect with the.
There's absolutely been a disconnect because I randomly got his number from I found his phone number, call me anytime, on his March 7th submission of documents, but I don't have anywhere that he called in with contact information. I have no attorney appearance on file. I have no attorney information on file. I have no attorney information on file. I have no attorney information on file or anything else otherwise. And besides, the attorney wouldn't be testifying. I'm not planning to be a witness, Judge. I'm not planning to be a witness. I just wanted to clarify something. Wait. If you're going to plan on offering testimony, I have to put you under oath. So either I'm going to ask my questions and then you're going to take over asking questions, but otherwise you're not providing testimony that's just not under oath.
Well, however you want to proceed. I'm happy to be put under oath as well.
If you're a witness that has information that you would like to add, then I'm going to put you under oath. If you want to ask your client questions, then that's something different.
If I want to ask my client questions, you said that?
Yes.
No, I don't need to ask my client. Oh, you mean subsequent to yours? If you're saying the redirect to my client? Yes. Oh, okay, then I'll do that if that's what you prefer. Yeah, I can take it that way as well.
Okay. All right, then back to my other question. Okay. All right, then back to my other question. So we were talking about my other question. So we were talking about somebody's phone is buzzing. I don't know if you're standing too far away from it.
My phone is okay. What's good until now?
I don't understand, but if it's on speaker, maybe somebody could just take it off speaker and hold it, because otherwise they're going to have to do this whole thing over again because nobody will be able to transcribe it. I
was on the speaker, but I turned it off now, and now it's the same noise again.
Hey, Mr. Briscoe, are you on speaker?
No, I do have some headphones on. I'm not on speaker. I have a earpiece in.
The headphones make a noise.
No, that's fine now. It's gone. Is everybody good?
Time to grind on the red hook.
With regard to the employment history, like I was going to say, like, what would make you believe that Mr. Briscoe had his own business? What details or specific examples can you give me that would indicate the claimant had his own business?
He's kind of overlapping in his day. He's kind of overlapping in his day. What he's doing here in his day. What he's doing here in his day. What he's doing here with some employees. And he has overlap with us too. He has overlap with us too.
Overlapping.
Overlap with us too.
Overlapping what?
From the day when they're working for some company here, if you take a closer look at the day fucking listed, closer look at the day fucking listed, closer look at the day fucking listed.
Yes.
I found it killed the ball. Like, if you would have got it a little bit higher, we would have tried to get it. Why? I had a walk in the Huh? Yeah, you've eaten enough today. What are you looking at? Probably a lot. Let me think. Do you even have any left? I mean points, dopey. I do say shout out to points. And search the price. It says one serving is 17. That doesn't really help. I don't know what that means. One serving. Does that mean it's, I don't know, 17 points.
What?
One serving is 17 points. I don't know.
What's the serving?
I don't know, it doesn't say, like, fries are 7 for a small. Maybe you can have like 2 or 3 curds.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, so there's a 10-16 to 12-16, then you have, so there's a 10-16 to 12-16, then you have whole 4-16 to 7-16. So overlapping is between here.
Yeah, somebody did.
Between here. Overlapping is between here.
I guess I don't understand overlapping what? I guess I don't understand overlapping what?
They, when he's doing somewhere business. When he's doing, when he's doing somewhere business.
Okay, but that doesn't make him have his own business. That could make him an employee of someone else. What makes you think that Mr. Briscoe had his own trucking business? Did he have his own truck?
Can you be employing a different company at the same time?
You can be a part-time employee for as many employers as you want to. Of course you can. Why would, was there something in your contract that said he was not allowed to work anywhere else?
In the trucking industry, you know, when the driver is on the road, how can he employ in the different company when he's in Arkansas, the other company when he's in Arkansas, the other company sends him in Texas, let's say, I don't know. Send him in Texas, let's say. Other company send him in Texas, let's say, I don't know.
Okay, well, all right, let me talk to Mr. Okay, well, all right, let me talk to Mr. Okay, well, all right.
Brooklyn, go somewhere else.
Okay, well, all right. Let me talk to Mr. Chekhov. Do you know, upon your information and belief, did Mr. Sidney Briscoe own his own truck?
No.
Okay. And then, I don't know, how did you expect him to have another trucking business if he doesn't own his own truck?
The driving, not the truck, the driving.
Okay.
He provides his skills to airport somewhere, and
okay. All right, but are you saying that he was driving your truck for other businesses, or that you're saying that he was driving someone else's truck and working at the same time he was working for you?
And between
time he was working for you, and working at the same time he was working for you.
And between work with someone else too, yes.
Okay.
Too, yes. And between work with someone else too, yes.
Okay. Okay. And then you sent also you sent these text messages. It looks like they are dated April. Yes, this obviously looks like the date when this is the end of the separation from the employment, indicating basically, to summarize, that the claimant abandoned your vehicle in, I don't know where. He abandoned your vehicle somewhere. And Texas, and you had to go and get it. Is that correct?
That's correct, yep.
I gleaned that from these text messages. And so then, where did you have to go? Where was the truck?
The truck was in Houston on the truck stop.
Okay.
And he left our truck getting another job.
We only have little ones.
Our truck getting another job.
Okay, I got that. Now, when he was, in order to get to Texas, was he performing services for you?
When he made it to Texas?
Right.
Party in this party, then.
Was he delivering something or making, taking a customer's property and moving it from point A to point B? Or how did the truck make it to Texas in the first place?
Yes, he did delivery in Texas, around there, I don't know where. And he did that, by his own, in that truck stop. By his own, in that truck stop.
I got you. Okay. And then the last document that I have received then is the bill for upon the DOT inspection of the truck, towing it back, or towing it, I guess, out of the truck stop, and towing it, I guess, out of the truck stop, and airplane tickets, and damage to the truck, and etc. Okay, so all of those having been already made part of the record through testimony and then corroborated, will be made a part of the record. So let me talk. So about making the schedule. So you were talking about you have dispatchers working for you, and they apparently they're called by customers, and then you somehow connect drivers with the customers, correct?
Correct. So the dispatchers getting in touch with the customer, the dispatching figure out, what's going on with the load, where it's going, how heavy it is. Then they call the driver and write them the same.
Alright guys, so we got red hex.
Okay, I'm capable.
Grinded my way.
I'm not capable to this.
Red hex.
Okay, so and then how?
Got 1,000 kills this game with this weapon.
So,
About 800.
offer the person in this case the load, what he's gonna do.
Okay.
He's gonna do.
Okay. How is the decision made who to offer the ride to? Like, instead of offering it to Mr. Briscoe, you might offer it to, say, Mr. Johnson or something. How do you decide who to make the offer to?
The dispatcher calling the city, so they talk over the phone. They're calling the city.
Party, Miss Party.
Calling the city. The dispatcher calling the city, so they talk over the phone verbally.
Oh, so I mean, like it's not like.
Verbally.
Oh, so I mean.
So they talk over the phone verbally.
Oh, so I mean, like it's not like an order.
Verbally.
Oh, so I mean, like it's.
Talk over the phone verbally.
Oh, so I mean, like it's not like an order of importance, or maybe an order of seniority, or.
Okay, so where they located?
Location. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, and depending on the size of the load, do you have, so obviously look at the truck that he was driving was a certain size of truck. Do you have, depending on the size of the freight that needs to be transported, different
Trying to get attachment.
Yes, that's true, and different driver's license you need to prevent with 53 driver. We have to prevent with 53 driver. We have a 53 driver. We have a 53 driver.
Okay, so that's what I meant. So also then, do all drivers have the same, Class A or the same type of license that they can drive any of the trucks?
For 53, For 53, foot long trailer. For 53, foot long. For 53, foot long trailer semi. 53, prevent with 53 life, different driver's license you need to prevent with 53 driver. We have to prevent with 53 driver. We have a 53 driver. We have a 53 driver.
Okay, so that's what I meant. So also then do all drivers have the same, Class A or the same type of license that they can drive any of the trucks?
For 53,
But
for 53,
why? I have to get off and like, oh yeah, I'll get off your account.
You need foot long trailer, semi truck, you need Class A.
Where are we going, dude?
Okay, so he is licensed to drive.
Where we going now, bud?
He would need to make these,
milk?
Deliveries.
Right.
Okay then.
We good now?
Okay, so again, we don't have a copy of, he didn't rent, who paid for, say, were there any amounts that went along with the truck that Mr. That Mr. Briscoe had to pay on his own, like say for insurance or gas or repairs or etc.? Did he have to make any payments in relation to the trucks in regard to that? In that regard, did the claimant pay that?
Yes, all the charges are if the truck is using or making the damage or using for his own purposes.
No, but I'm not talking about, okay, guys, those would be circumstances outside of his employment, but I mean, or outside of the service he's providing. I understand that accidents happen, and yeah, I'm not talking about liability necessarily, but just general insurance, car insurance that's required. I mean, these trucks are registered to you, are they not? These trucks are registered to you, are they not?
Yeah, they're registered to me, but they have a deductible money.
Deductible
money. For example, if the insurance, needs has damage, the insurance cover they take. The insurance cover they pay. They don't pay the insurance.
Right, okay, so they don't pay the premiums monthly, but in the event they have to make a claim, they would pay the deductible. Okay, I understand that. So you pay the premiums with it, and then what about gas? Does he pay the gas and you reimburse him, or does he pay the gas and you reimburse him, or how does the gas go? Do you just fill it up every day before he goes on his delivery?
For the gas? Some circumstances, we he's paying for the gas. Depends, how using the truck. Or the percentage, if he's performing good, he gets a percentage for the saving gas to his own check. The saving gas to his own check.
Oh, that he can possibly get it reimbursed and include it on his check. Is that what you said?
Yeah, but if he's performing good when we have he's performing good when we have quarterly. He's performing good when we have quarterly file.
Like a bonus or something.
Quarterly file.
Like a bonus or something.
Yeah, like a bonus. If he's more than 6 gallons per mile, so those bonus go to the driver.
Okay, yeah, I got you. When he gets these dispatches and he accepts it, does he get any more detail? Can he decide his route to take to make the delivery? Can he take to make the route to take to make the delivery? Can he, things like that? Can he?
once he, agreed with the dispatcher to do the work, he decides for everything. When he's gonna go, even when he's going to pick it up the load, if he sees the load is loaded and he don't feel safe to drive, and he don't want the way how the load is to drive, and he don't want the way how the load is loaded, he don't want the way how the load is loaded, he's gonna say, I'm not gonna move this way from here, guys. I'm not gonna move
party, this party, now.
So he has all the power, all the tools to do everything what he wants, after he's agreed to do the load.
Right, but in the end, the customer decides, when they want it picked up and when they want it delivered, usually.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
So, now could he decide, would it matter to you, or to your company, that whether he took a toll road, or whether he took any other route, so it doesn't matter to you?
He's 100% free to go. He's 100% free to go any road that he wants. We never recommend the road. We never want them to go some certain way. We don't do that.
Okay. Okay. And then, if he couldn't do the job,
Yeah. Who's getting water? Who's getting water? Who's getting water? Who's getting water? Good job. I didn't even tell you to do that. I'm impressed. Very nice.
And then, if he couldn't do the job, if he had accepted it and then ended up, being sick and he couldn't do it, could he sub out the job to someone else and have some other driver do the route for him and then he'd pay him?
Depends if he's loaded, let's say. We'll see. We can move the freight without a strapping load. We can move the freight without a strapping load. But yes, the freight without a strapping load. But move the freight without a strapping load. But yes.
And then
The freight without a strapping load. But yes, we repower the strapping load. But yes, we repower the load without a. We repower the load without for the load without other drive.
He would have to use one of your other drivers. He couldn't just ask a buddy of his that also had a CDL.
No.
Okay.
If it's driving under our, authority, then cannot be the site driver. It's gotta be, the site driver. It's gotta be, the driver. It's gotta be, the driver who's gonna be in our company.
I got you. Somebody that you had already done a background check or done a driver's license check on or something.
I'm down the button.
Yeah. Right. So there is, it is basically, when you say it is basically his pay rate ended up, it is basically, when you say it is basically his, his pay rate ended up is a percentage of the agreement between you and the customer. So that you said between 25 you and the customer. So that you said between you and the customer. So that you said between 25 and 30 usually is the pay rate that, okay.
Yeah, that's
the pay rate that, okay.
Yeah, that's
the pay rate that, okay.
Yeah, that's between 25 to 30%, and when you mark it down and make it easier for accounting, we put 25 cents, 48 cents, depends, from the season. That's because this is like a work that depends on the season, and the season, pick it up, then we do more, and the season is slow, then we do, but the percentage is 25 to 30%.
Okay, and then, and there's random bonuses. Did Mr. Briscoe have any investment in your company, like any investment in the profit and loss, and able to get, bonuses, yearly bonuses based on overall revenue?
No.
All right. Did he? All right. You mentioned a couple times. Was he allowed to sometimes use the truck for his own personal use?
Yes, he uses a lot of time.
Would he just have to find it out or ask someone, or how does that work?
If he has the stock with him, he's gonna say, if he has the stock with him, he's gonna say, Philip, you just wanna go. Say, Philip, you just wanna go see my doctor or my sister, around the city. Usually, most of the drivers, they don't have a car with them, when they're somewhere. Mm-hmm. And, they put them personal convenience and they use the car for personal stuff.
Okay, so they just have to ask you. I mean, because you're the president.
They ask me, but they never ask me. They ask me, but they never ask me.
Okay.
It's just stupid, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, they're still operating under your license, your DOT license, and under your insurance, right? So, I would make sure they ask you. Anyway, okay, so when, did he have a supervisor, or are you just the main supervisor?
I'm the...
Okay, so he reported directly to you about, and I guess dispatch, but when he has any other issues, you were the person that he would go to.
Yeah, if any other issue, then I'm the person.
Okay. Did he earn any benefits, like, I don't know, vacation, sick days or vacation days or health or dental or any of those kind of things?
No.
Okay. Those are all my questions. So, Council, if you have questions that I didn't cover, now's the time. And if you could...
What are you doing, Brooklyn?
State your name for the record, spell your last name, and who you represent, that'd be great too.
Absolutely. Again, my name is...
Stop it! Whatever you're doing.
Absolutely. Again, my name is Veronica Lee Judge, that's L.I., and I am attorney of Bo3 Logistics.
Okay, go ahead. If you have any questions for your client, now's the time.
Thank you. So I just wanted to take you back to the document that the judge was talking about. That was a questionnaire from the department. That was a questionnaire. That was a question he was talking about. That was a questionnaire from the department regarding the independent contractor status. And just to clarify, were you saying that where you answered, did the claimant have an independently established trade, occupation, profession, business? I see you initially checked no. Are you saying that was a mistake after having discussed with counsel? And if you can you clarify, did you think that was initially no because you just understood it as layman's terms?
Correct, that was the main reason, no.
And so at this point, are you saying then that you'd like to be able to amend, that answer to that questionnaire to yes, you believe that the claimant has an independent trade?
Yes.
And what do you believe that independent trade for claimant then is he's a Class A professional CDL license holding driver, a truck driver, is that correct?
Correct.
And you stated, I believe, previously on record that to have
Gondola
a profession requires a special license.
Yes.
And that special license requires
Get a gondola.
an examination, is that right?
Come on, bro, I need your help. I'm calling the gondola.
Road test and parking.
So that's obviously...
Like 3 steps to get the...
That's obviously...
Gondola.
To get the license.
Oh my God, run!
Normal...
No, the gondolas.
Normal test.
Correct. And you need the medical card?
Medical card as well?
As well, so you go into the hospital, they do your medical tests. You go into the hospital, they do your medical tests and stuff. The hospital, they do your medical tests and stuff. Depends, your health day is your 3 months to 2 years.
3 years. Okay. Thank you. And so if you could just have the record reflect that at this time, Focal Logistics wishes to amend that answer from no to yes.
I need ammo.
Subsequently, I believe the judge was asking you about the next
Got no ammo.
where it says, do you have a contract with the claimant? And again, we checked with the claimant, and again, we checked the Focal Logistics checked no there. But just to clarify, you're saying that there are too many contracts essentially because each load that each load with the customer is a different contract that the driver and the customer have to fulfill essentially. And then I think you had stated before. It's your role as Focal Logistics role to ensure, on the market when the customer is looking for a load to be taken from point A to point B, usually if you have drivers, either owner-operators or independent drivers, that are willing to fill that load.
Correct.
To fill that load.
Correct. And for example, one more time I'm going to explain on this one. Situation regarding the detention time. For example, when the driver agree with the dispatch to the load, they give them the terms and conditions to the load. Sometimes, for example, you have 2 hours for free, and then after 2 hours they paying the transfer. Sometimes drivers agree to do that, but there is a term when you have 4 hours free waiting. Once you docket the truck, and the driver say, I'm not going to wait 4 hours, find me another load in that location. So that